All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Stable. Today, we are kind of mapping out, I don't know how far we'll get, but we picked up a Stage 2 Snow Performance meth injection kit. So, I know we will drill and tap probably into the backside of this little elbow here for our meth nozzle. The reason why we're doing this is because that is a 2.87 pulley on that. This is a 91 pump gas car with a little bit of octane booster, and we know that the aftercooler is becoming a restriction already around 15 psi. It is a stock bottom end, so we're trying to make this last. If I was on E85, I wouldn't be doing this right now, but I'm not. So really just trying to put the methanol on here to prevent any detonation. So I'm thinking I would like to put our tank somewhere in here and have it there, something like that. And I'm just running through ideas right now of where we're gonna put our pump. So I thought maybe I could pull off maybe the splash guard in this fender and maybe mount it on the bottom side right here. Or I'm thinking maybe pull the bumper off and drill it in to the backside of our bumper support right there. I think it would be fine right there. It's gonna be in here anyway, so it's not blocking airflow to the radiator. And we really just needed to get through this season because next season, hopefully the Texas build will be going on. We're going to upgrade the blower, probably not staying air to water, probably going to go to an air-to-air intercooler so we can move it all around then anyways. Because once that air-to-air intercooler is gone, or I'm sorry, once we switch to the air-to-air, the aftercooler will probably be gone. So there might be space right here. Hopefully, or truthfully, there will be even space on this side because I'm going to go to the, and I could have it backwards, but blow through math. So we will just have a little turbo guard on hopefully the JTB or the YSI that we upgrade to. So we got options there. So I'm thinking maybe the easiest thing to do is maybe just pop this bumper off, but I don't know if I'm going to end up scratching it with our headlights because I think the headlights have to come out for us to do that. And those are kind of a pain. But I'm thinking maybe just mount it right here, backside of the bumper support or the crash bar, whatever you want to call it. So then we can just run our lines. We'll have, that might be the easiest thing too, because the tank's right here, run it straight over here to the pump. And then the pump can feed it, and I could be going the wrong direction here, but you guys get what I'm saying. Pump just come right around here to the backside of our nozzle. So that may be what I do with it. All right, so picking this up the next day, and I figured out I cost myself more work. So when I went through this whole little radiator fiasco that we dealt with it not fitting and stuff, that was the perfect time for me to get in here and drill into the back of our support. All right, so a couple hours later, kind of got caught up having dinner, and my mom came over for her lunch break, so had dinner with her, but we got the crash bar off of there. Took forever because I don't have the right tools, but we did get, we used self-tappers, got it in the backside. It will clear. Well, it was a good thing I left a lot of line on the, what's going to feed the methanol into the car side, right? This side, I made it again, but this end keeps getting kinked because it's hitting on our, it's hitting on our, I believe that's the transmission cooler lines. Or power steering, whatever, but it's hitting on them. Every time I go to put it in here, it hits and it kinks. So I don't know how to do that without maybe loosening up that heat exchanger there or something else. I don't know, but I'm done for the night, so we will pick this back up probably tomorrow. Guys, I completely forgot to even pick up this video. So as you see, Snow Performance pump is mounted onto our original crash bar right there. I think if I notch our foam, we'll be fine there. I did test fit the bumper. It does clear, so this vacuum line will feed up to the pump. It's gonna go in this area. Still have to figure out how to do that. And then this wire is gonna come over here and thread into the elbow somewhere. So Jalen's giving me a hand because the back of the Snow Performance gauge has a ton of wires coming out of it. However, like I said, I picked this up late, so you guys missed the disassembly of the A-pillar right here, feeding the wire through, but we check it out. There you go, PLX from back in the day with American Muscle, and then Snow Performance down here. So we will be able to monitor everything from in the car. So the last thing is, like I said, Jalen's giving me a hand. He's labeled the wires because we didn't have the correct wires here, so that's not going to matter. So I don't want to give you guys what wires go where. They have a little business card you can download the directions for snow performance on. So we are just working, getting all these wires where they need to go. We do have a boost reference, which will go here, which was fine because I had a free vacuum port right there anyway. So little hose on there, they'll plug in. That's what Jalen's holding his hand now, so that will feed there. We'll tuck it, make it look pretty. We have a ground for the level sensor in the tank. One of the wires comes out of the harness Jalen's messing with, also goes to the tank. Ground for the pump comes right up here to the headlights, and then the red and purple you see actually goes over by Jalen's hand up to our gauge. So kind of a mess right now, but this was the best place I found to put this pump where it was still lower than the tank. And as you see with the Vortec and all that stuff, there's not a lot of room. So, and I didn't want to mount it in the trunk because we already got the ice tank and stuff back there. So this is what we chose to do. All right, so as you see, it's getting late. I did kind of mock where I need to cut on our foam support to notch out for the pump, so I can throw that back on, get the bumper on there. But there's 2 steps left outside of doing some wire loom to make everything look pretty, tucking all our wires in here nice. But have to connect this wire to the tank, and then we still have to run, and maybe I need to get a 90, but we need to drill and tap our elbow to connect our line. So those are the last 2 things. All right, so we're back. I know this whole methanol process is taking a lot longer than I anticipated, but we have our tank just propped up because we have our line connected to the bottom of it. I'm waiting on a 90 to come in, so that's part of why it's taking so long. And then having the tank here, I realized that this fender right here was creased pretty good, so kind of massage that back out so it sits pretty flush now. This will clear the front bumper, which I'm actually about to throw on now because I just took some distilled water, had it hooked up to that side, and then we came over here and then we powered up the snow performance. It took a little bit. Jalen helped me run all the wiring, which we ran the power wire to the engine bay, which was a mistake because all the 12 volt switch sources are in the car. So we went to the radio, I believe, but now you turn the key forward and we got power. So still gotta figure out what nozzle I need to run and how this actually works, but I know P is prime, so that's good enough for now. We got that done. So the last thing I'm gonna do is, you guys can see the lines I have on here, and I'm gonna notch out this foam, put it around the pump, and then put our bumper back on. The only reason why I'm doing that is I don't know if the bumper will get kind of flexy without having that in there. So we're gonna cut that out, throw that on there, get our bumper back on, our headlights that are up there on the shelf, get those installed. We did have to cancel our dyno and kind of retune that we had scheduled for last Thursday. Obviously we missed the race day because I think today is the 20th. So this thing is supposed to get tuned on the 30th now, and we are trying to make it to the race down at P&P Pueblo Motorsports Park on October 3rd. It was a little bit more of a fight, but bumper is on. You can kind of see maybe through here. Oops, sorry, my red line. So it's not smashed, got plenty of room. So I just got to suck this side in with the bolts, put our little plastic pieces in there, headlights, that part's done. And then I can go through and kind of tuck our wires all nice and zip tie them across the back. And then our little map sensor as well. I had it running down here. So probably take it back, hide it, make it look all pretty. So here we are picking this video up with the 96. I had to come over here and give a hand to my dad with his 90 Fox body. Had a couple comments since this has Z Pro M set up with how it's running, and it was running great up until our old distributor went out. So we replaced that, but of course when we did that, now the timing's off. So we're going back trying to put similar one back at top dead center, restabbing the distributor and making sure we have the timing correct on this. Outside of that, this car's running great. We are also waiting on a methanol little sensor to add on to this car. So my dad has a way to cool this thing down. So speaking of methanol, now since we have our 90-degree fitting on the bottom, I just need to connect our hose right there. And that part should be good to go. We just popped off our little elbow right here because we just drilled and tapped this. So hopefully this holds, because from there, this piece gets screwed on, and then our red line that you see right here will get cut down and attaches to the backside right there where my pinky is. So it will be on there, something like that. So just put some Loctite on that. Need to pull all this, all these fittings apart and put some Loctite on this as well. And then this car should be good to go. We'll just be driving around town over the next 3-4 days because we have a dyno appointment. Well, I should say dyno and retune appointment next Tuesday, the 30th. Well, as you can see, made it back to my house. Guys, this thing was a fight all night along with my dad's car. We got my car finished up tonight, but not my dad's car, so that will be tomorrow. But this has ended up being how we mounted the tank, so you can kind of see it there. We ended up moving our level sensor to the front, using some JB weld and a brass little cap, I guess. Went ahead and closed up where the original one was. So the only thing I have to do is connect my ground and resolder our wire over there. Not a big deal. And then over here, we cut down our red line and it is attached. So that's nozzle number 4 in there. Hopefully that's the only one we need. I think the nozzle 6 that came with the kit is based on the chart is too much for the power level that this car is at currently. So just kind of wanted to show you guys. So looked pretty factory from the front. I mean, my overflow hose right here is a little long, but easy to get to, solid. I might need to make sure it's level, which if I loosen this side, I can push it down and we got some adjustment room. So did pretty good on the way home. Other than that, pretty clean install. So this thing was an absolute fight for how simple of a job it seemed like it was going to be. You guys don't need to see me connect our wire for the ground and our level sensor. That stuff's pretty simple, so I'll do that off camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up because it's been weeks since I've been able to post any kind of content because there really hasn't been any, been waiting on parts. Quick little boss update for you though. Cleaned it, but Bob, Bodacious Racing, welded the axle tubes for me on that. So hopefully this weekend we can get this axle put back together. I'll paint it. We'll throw our kind of replacement bushings and other goodies on there, get it in there, and then hopefully both these cars will be ready to race on the 3rd for Friday Night Drags at PMP and down at their Halloween race to kind of cap off the end of the season. So please be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.